Well, greetings again. This is Dr. Bill Wyatt with the American Orthodontic Society, and I'm going to talk about palatal separation in adults. Now, I talked to Donald Timms, who wrote the book on palatal separation. He's an Englishman, and he said, I was in New York, and he said he could open it up to about 17 or 18, and I just left him at that. There was a lot of people in line to talk with him because I had opened palates in people in their 30s and a few in their 40s simply by adding pressure at the anterior part of the mouth. So let's get started in. I'll show you this guy that we worked on first, and it was in 1973, I believe. He was an adult who was going to the University of North Texas, and I put this on, and he really needed this, and so I had failed to open a young man's palate one time, and there are just a lot of adults that are now that have mouth breathing problems, you see, so they keep their tongue in the bottom of the mouth. When you're mouth breathing, your tongue's in the bottom of the arch. You can't breathe under your tongue. So your tongue spreads your lower arch out, and you'll have a crossbite, and if the upper arch doesn't get out its natural opening ability of the tongue, and the case of opening where you breathe through the nose, you bite together when you swallow. There's a whole different deal. But a lot of people don't do that, and so their palate is too narrow and their teeth fit inside the lower teeth in some cases like that. So you can go in up until, I've opened some of them in their 40s, but they'd be the low 40s, and sometimes you can't get it open, and I have kept putting pressure on it, and you could stretch the palate out. Maybe the palate was up high, and it levels this way, and it stretches out. You can open it that way. But let me show you. This young man came in, and we had to take some teeth out on him, so we kind of got ahead of time. This was 1973, and he came in one Saturday morning, and he couldn't, he was griping about pressure up there, and so I took a little wire. In fact, let me see if I can draw on this wire. Yeah, all right. We took this, just took a wire and made this little loop in it up here, like this, and then we ran one up this way and one over here. Now we had to pull these together like this, and we go over here and make a thing that would hold the wire in between the teeth. And he came in Saturday morning about 10 o'clock, and I was real busy, and he was bitching about the pressure and everything, so I bit this little wire and I put it on his teeth. And I took that wire, you see this was here with all these loops, and it's got a lot of force, but the thing would be going out this way. And I've stuck that in between his teeth, and he and his girlfriend went to town, and they looked in the window. He said while he was in town window shopping, looked in there, and his girlfriend looked at him and said, "Your teeth are apart." And he said, I went over and looked in the mirror and said I could stick a big wooden match between the teeth. And he came to the office. It's a good thing, because this is not the way you would want to open it, because this would just go out like, if you let it go, it'd be sitting out like this instead of, so you have to put something on and put pressure straight out on it to bring the teeth out. Now what we're thinking about nowadays is putting TADs in the bone structure here, and putting the bone arch across these teeth right here, put a lot of spring pressure between that tad, you see, to push them apart. Now, I didn't have the tads in '73, we weren't doing that. So I put this on, and so his girlfriend said that your teeth are apart. So he came back to the office, thank goodness, and now the teeth were out like that. Now, this just told me something, though. And this young man was up there, he was in his early 20s, and so we started putting pressure in between the central teeth, and then had the palatal separator in addition to that. So you'd have the separator down here, and we put this up here, this so it opens this, and then we would rotate these teeth around, and we put that on him, and of course, after it separates, there's no pressure feeling in there, there's no nerves in the little palatal sutures, so they come apart and they just keep going out. So now we have done people in their 30s, some people into their early 40s even, and then if we can't get them in there, we can keep pressure on it, and it'll bring this flat, and we can take people and open their palate, or we can open their, broaden the palate out on older people, but it'll just stretch the roof of the mouth up, kind of like this, allow us to come out further with it, and that way we open the airway, and that recovers from what they did not do growing up. They breathe through the mouth, and you breathe through with your tongue on the bottom arch. It spreads out the bottom arch, and you'll have a crossbite in there. So we took him and took that old part. And now we bring it out and brought some springs in between that after we push these back together again and open the space here. And now once we get that, we had to close the other space, just regular orthodontics on that. I'm not going to show that, but we separated that down, and we got it leveled out, and it was 73 when we started this, and now this is 78. This is several years after we finished. He came in like that. But in other words, we saved this guy's facial structure, and it gave him airway up here, and that's the important part. So I'm going to close up, but the palatal separator will always bring the roots out, and you can't make one with bars going under against the teeth. If you just have a bar pushing on the teeth, you push the crown out and the roots kind of going this way. Well, the airway is up here, and you want the roots to be this way, so you have to put this buccal root toric to make those teeth go out at the roots coming in, and you have to do that with a rectangular wire, and you have to do that with your palatal separator. If you have them all crown or banded real solid, that will carry the roots out this way. So thank you for watching, and I hope you gained something by this, and we'll say goodbye for the time being, and hope you would join our group and sign up with us so we ask these things, and we'll just say goodbye, and I'll see you back again.